Gotta love Facebook. All right, so having said all that, it's time for spiritual mind treatment. Our talk today is on clarity. You can never be clear enough. So there's always more truth to know. So let's know this. This word is being spoken for each one. And if there is anyone else or any place on this planet that you, or any like system or organization that you would like to have included, just silently say to yourself now that name and know that this word also includes them, because we're talking about an infinite mind that is everywhere present. And so that one mind, omnipresent, knows all. And it knows all because it creates all. There is nothing like a creator for knowing everything there is about the creation. And so this divine creator knows all, and it knows every aspect of the all in such detail that the whole inner mechanisms of an atom and an entire universe are known by this one mind. It knows all. It knows all. And what it knows, it creates. And so there is nothing in this universe that this one infinite mind does not know. So any belief that there are secrets is now exposed to be a lie completely. There are no secrets in this universal mind. All is known. So any belief that one has a secret, or any belief that one needs to hide something about themselves, a fear or a belief or a thought that a belief that one is really bad or has done something really bad, any belief that there is something horrible about oneself that needs to be hidden, as well as all human experience of shame about that which needs to be hidden, is all realized right now. It is and always has been completely and totally exposed to the infinite mind. It knows all. It knows everything about each one. It knows every little nook and cranny of each one's being and experience. It knows everything that has been in each one's heart and maybe never even acknowledged by one's own self. It knows all of this. And knowing all of this, it still loves. It loves, accepts, enjoys, and blesses each one completely. This one infinite mind, knowing all, is a loving presence that unconditionally gives all of its life, all of its good, all of its power to each one, regardless of everything and anything anyone has ever done, thought, or felt, or not done. And each one is loved completely. Completely. And so all belief that one needs to earn that love or deserve that love is, or even an unconscious human need for forgiveness is all erased, evaporated, vanished, because this one mind does not need to forgive, because it never, ever even sees that which one thinks needs to be forgiven. That one loving presence sees each one as very good and only very good, now and always. And given this, each one does accept its grace and that human cathartic experience of forgiveness and release and of healing. Each one experiences the blessings of being loved unconditionally in this relative world in that perfect way for him or herself, so that each one receives from heaven as well as here in earth all that is a part of knowing that one, and knowing and accepting that one is loved, lovable, and loving, that one is the beloved of that loving one presence, just the way each one is, loved completely. And given to each one is the infinity and all of the powers and the faculties of an infinite mind, that same mind that knows all and creates all, is the gift that each one has. And all that it knows is available to each one upon request, upon invitation. And so all that would be a part of living one's unique life healthfully, successfully, wealthfully, lovingly, joyously, freely, peacefully, harmoniously, this way is known in this infinite mind, and its knowing is now transmitted into the thinking of each one, so that each one is divinely guided to know that all is well and to move here on this planet in human experiences with peace, with love, with harmony, with joy, with a delight, with a realization that each one is enough, and each one is loved, and each one is free, and each one is powerful and inspiring. Each one is the recipient of the infinite blessings of the divine. And in being aware of this, each one accepts these blessings, accepts the guidance, and accepts the clarity that knows the truth, that sets each one free of any negative experience in the physical realm, and sets each one free of those beliefs that would create and accept and believe in such negative experiences. All of those false beliefs, however intelligent it seems to each one based upon the human race's reasoning faculty and its analysis and statistics, is all now seen with crystal clarity, with the eyes of this infinite mind that knows I am that I am, that knows I am perfect, whole, and complete, that knows that that divine creator I am is only creating its perfection, wholeness, and completeness in form, and that its love is omnipresent, its wisdom, its intelligence, its power, all of it is present, and its ability to create for each one, in each one, through each one, around each one, and as each one, create a life one loves to live. This infinite mind knows in creating each one that way of living that each one is divinely designed to love completely. Loving it completely, not a made up love, not a, oh, let me learn how to love it. No, a love that each one feels the joy of living, feels the delight of being, realizes that life is infinite, it is eternal, and that in this one life, that life of the great I am that each one is living, in this one life, all is well, always. So all belief in problems and troubles and any particular factual experience at the moment that it looks like problems or troubles, it is ephemeral. It is a passing of form, and is now, by this realization that the divine knows all is well, is now being transformed and changing, which it does anyway, but it's now changing and transforming into life, perfect, whole, and complete, love, harmonious and wonderful and connected and joyous. It is a light of seeing the infinite possibilities yet to be. No matter one's circumstances, there is more to create, more to express, more to live, more to be. There is no end to this life. And each one is seeing the possibilities and the future that each one is accepting and participating in creating for themselves. And this life that each one is accepting and knowing this truth is power. That power of God that knows what the human race and the world is doing has no power, no real power over anyone who knows and connects with that great I am, that great all is well. And so each one is inspired and empowered in this truth and experiencing as a result peace, peace that passeth all human understanding, that peace that makes no sense to anyone else, that peace that does not give an explanation, the peace that knows all is well, that all is well and all will be right, all shall be right, all shall work out fine. Each one is knowing this peace, not thinking and figuring out, knowing it. Despite appearances, despite what the world says, each one is knowing it. And as a result, each one is living a life filled with eager anticipation for that next chapter of life and how it all unfolds and how it all will work out. And so in realizing this, each one is also experiencing beauty, the beauty of seeing wherever one looks the presence of love and joy, that deep connection to love that manifests as that ever-present feeling of joy, that knowing love is everywhere, one can see it, and that one is this love and lovable and loved. Each one is knowing all this with crystal clarity, with the clarity of the infinite mind that only knows what it knows with crystal clarity. Each one is having this tremendous clarity in thinking about truth and about one's life in this world, and that truth, that with that clarity that reveals a whole new experience of living for each one. This is the truth. This is the gift of life that each one has been given. And I am grateful that this is so. I release this word to the law, grateful that the law knows how to do whatever it needs to do so that each one experiences every word of truth that they desire to know. And as a result, a complete different experience in living this life starting now. And so it is. Oh, and so it is. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Okay. Marilyn Early, let me know. Stephanie, good to see you. Alan, I'm glad you made it. Scott, good morning. And Michael. All right. So you're all here. Ready for Reverend Rich.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
All right, so we take a moment connecting with our heart and open to whatever good you desire to know. Be specific about that good. If you want health, be open to health. If you want prosperity, be open to prosperity. Freedom. And today's talk is on clarity. So be open to clarity too, because it's coming. And so opening to all the infinite good that's available to us, we experience it now and know that we do receive it in some magnificent way throughout this meeting. And so it is.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. We are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. We encourage daily spiritual practice, so we have things going on all week, not just on Sunday. And you will find links on our Facebook page, CSL Princeton, and our webpage, cslprinceton.org. This week, practitioner Susan Need is facilitating a series of Wednesday evening workshops called The Temple of the Living Spirit, starting at 7:30 p.m. On Wednesdays. It's drawn largely on H.P. Jeffries' books and a few other things, and on the idea, I am a spiritual being in a spiritually created body. There will be a great guest speaker who will share their experience of moving into wholeness from an apparent incurable disease condition. There will be discussion, meditation, and writing. Our practitioner, John Herron, is facilitating two activities. Every Saturday from 8:30 to 11:30, a group of
10:30 to 11:30.
10:30 to 11:30, a group of our members who are writers meet on Zoom for about an hour, starting with an affirmative prayer, then basically shutting off audio and video and writing for a while, and then coming back together to check in. On the first Saturday of each month, John is also conducting a peace meditation on Zoom for about 30 minutes. You can find more about us once again on our webpage, cslprinceton.org, where you can also request prayer or make a contribution through PayPal. This morning, when I read our statement, we are a loving, healing, and inclusive community, the words healing and inclusive kind of jumped out at me. With regard to the inclusivity, we had people from a huge number of different sorts of backgrounds. And of course, everybody has their own individual background, how they grew up, what they learned when they were young, and so forth. And I'm reminded to say that we always know that people have to start where they are, and they start again now. There's not a future time or a past time when you have to have done everything right or need to have everything done. Also, we have certain things that, even though the relative world is always changing, there are certain principles that we know that are always true. And we know, for example, that there is, as our founder, Ernest Holmes, put it, a power for good. And we can find out how to use it. I love in that context a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which I'm going to paraphrase slightly. It says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from, he says, magic, I say, a miracle. So we believe in miracles in the sense of if you know how to use this power, then you can accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish, provided that it does not violate other rules. We have a couple of simple examples of that Ernest Holmes came up with. One, for example, being that iron doesn't float. We all know that. But you can have an iron ship or a plane that flies because we know something about buoyancy. We know something about how things balance and what energy does. Once you know what principles work and how they work, you can use them. I think that's pretty much all I needed to say this time. Thank you all for listening.
My body, my soul, are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving a sacred plan. I know that it's true, when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. My thoughts and my mind belong to eternal time. My words and my song, you're writing them all along. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you.
Good morning. I'm Mary VerCande. I'm a practitioner intern here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. Yesterday, I was reading the Science of Mind magazine, and this is what it said. The short story, The Man Who Planted Trees, is the story of a solitary man named Eldiard Beauflier who plants 100 acorns a day in a desolate region of France. Through many wars and societal upheaval, he quietly attends to his vision over many decades. Imagine the result. The story offers unique insight into seeds' thoughts and what grows from a life of mindful planting. And that piqued my interest. So I looked up the story. And what caught my attention in the story was this. The shepherd who didn't smoke went and fetched a little bag and emptied a pile of acorns on the table. Then he began to inspect them closely, separating the good from the bad. I smoked my pipe. I offered to help. He said he had to do it himself. And isn't that true about our thoughts? That no one can determine what thoughts we think. That we get dominion over what we allow to put our focus on and what our attention is on. So we do a little meditation about our thoughts. So I invite you to get comfortable wherever you're at. Close your eyes if you'd like. Take a couple of slow breaths and allow your body to relax. Allow your mind to just empty out. Now imagine yourself sitting at a table. You take out a little bag and you pour it out on the table. And the acorns that are there, the seeds that are there, are your thoughts. And I invite you to go through your thoughts. Examine them. Maybe pick out a few good ones that you would like to see manifest and grow. Maybe sit 2 or 3 aside. You would really like to see happen. If you don't have that many, you can come back and go through them later. But gently pick up the ones that you would like to see manifest. Let's walk out to the garden of the creative mind. In the garden, find a place to plant them. And that once you plant them, The garden will take over. Your seeds will begin to grow. You might have to come back from time to time to weed out those things that are not like that, so they don't overgrow and take over your thoughts. But for now, plant what you want to see manifest. And maybe there's a little watering can there and you can give it some water. And then do whatever you need to do to release it, to allow it to grow and to flourish. Now, once you've done that, I invite you to come back to this meeting, back to the group. And so this word is spoken for each one listening to this. There is one creative mind. This mind acts upon all thoughts that are released into it, allows them to grow and nourishes them. And each one listening to this has dominion over their thoughts and gets to use and uses this creative mind. So each one chooses the thoughts that they would like to see manifest in their life, knowing that the law will work for them as they believe. And each one stands guard at the portal of their mind, allowing only those thoughts which are for their greatest good and the greatest good of everyone to continue in their mind and to flourish. And any thought that is unlike that which they wish to receive is plucked out and removed. And all that remains is a thought of good that each one wishes to receive. You know, the law will work for each one. All of these thoughts will grow and flourish, bringing greater good to each one who thinks it, and each one and everyone that they touch. I am grateful for this truth. I release it to the law, knowing it is so. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that made me blind. It's going to be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's going to be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Reverend Karen.
Yeah. Reverend Rich. Let's give a hand for Reverend Rich. Perfect singing, always. Perfect choice of songs, always. So, so our topic today is clarity. And I am inspired by my teacher's book, Spiritual Healing, Dr. Stuart Grayson. And what he taught, more than I believe I hear from other teachers of this science of mind teaching, is clarity, the power of clarity and the need for clarity. And so we have in our 7 qualities of God that you'll often hear me refer to when I'm saying, you know, a spiritual mind treatment: life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, joy. I always add harmony, so that's 8. It's something that Judge Thomas Troward expressed in one of his books, although he admits there's other qualities: order, intelligence, whatever. But that 3rd quality that I mentioned, light, is something we don't think about. We don't focus on that much, right? Because we like the power or love or joy or harmony, life itself. There's better qualities, we think. And yet we do have this God-given quality of light, and it's important. Light has a couple of different ways that we can think of it in the world. Light is clarity, right? When we turn on the light, we can see stuff that was in the dark. It is knowing the truth. It is, light is a form of or expression of wisdom or divine guidance. And then Judge Thomas Troward gives it this definition, which I recently realized he had in his book, even though I've read that book, I don't know, 30 times, minimum 30 times at least. It's been a long life. He talks about the definition of light being the infinite possibilities yet to be. And what we want to realize about these infinite possibilities yet to be is we are the ones who must see them. And if we don't see them, we don't have them. That's why clarity is important. If we don't see what is possible for us, if we aren't seeing our future, our good, we don't get it. It is a requirement that we choose our lives in order to experience our choices. And so, unfortunately for us, the human race, as much as it screams freedom, really does not like to choose their lives, because choosing accepts our responsibility. And that just feels so much responsibility, so responsible. Oh my God. Well, so what? Get over it, Karen is saying to herself. Get over it, because just because I don't want responsibility to think about what I'm thinking all the time so that I'm making wise choices all the time, just because I don't wanna, doesn't mean I'm not going to suffer the effects of not doing it. And the effects are awful. The effects are life has to create something. And so it'll create what the human race is believing and going through. Do you like that? I don't like that. And so what we need to realize and understand is wherever in our thinking we are not thinking clearly, it's a choice. It requires some mental effort. In his book, he does say something very nice. I think that's nice. He says, the more you use your mind, the more you can use it. Oh, okay, good. That's helpful. It's a muscle. So even though I don't want to be clear and I don't want to make choices, if I got it all right, I will. It will become easier and easier the more that I do it, just like any other muscle. But all my whining and complaining about it, or I'm too tired, or it's too much, it's very good excuses to use, but the default in not using your God-given right to choose is you experience the human race beliefs and opinions. You experience what the world is experiencing. He even goes on to say, yes, he's talking to us. It's still in this chapter. Hang on, it's very important. Sometimes we think, okay, so I'll read the whole paragraph. Either you or the world directs your life. Either you or the beliefs and opinions of others direct your life. Either we are in the driver's seat or the world is in the driver's seat, and we are the passengers being taken for a ride. So people wonder why things happen to them. The individual, thinking it is a rational move, slips out of the driver's seat into the passenger seat. Sometimes we think we have a wonderful chauffeur to drive us, but that chauffeur is the easy way out through submission to the ordinary thinking of the world. It will take us along a roller coaster to nowhere. Yeah, he was tough with truth. As I was thinking about this, I thought about my life, and in reading his things, he calls. We're used to the word when we're thinking about the opposite of clarity. We think of confusion or doubts, or I'm not sure, I'm all confused or whatever. But there's another opposite to clarity, and that word is ignorance. Where we are ignorant, we are not clear. And so we want to become aware of where we are ignorant, because where we are ignorant of what's going on and what we're believing and what's happening, whatever, we're a victim of what's going on and what's happening and da, 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 da. And so we want to become aware of where we are unaware and bring some clarity to it. And we have choice about this. And my personal experience of clarity is I tend to pick and choose where I'm going to be clear. So, and as I said last week, I only have one problem in my life right now. It's me. And where did I get this idea? Dr. Grayson says, you are the culprit in your own life. You're the cause. It's you. You either gave it up. And I know that, see, one of the reasons why I don't like that term, I just go with the flow, is when that go with the flow is really a subtle form of I'm not deciding. I'm just going to go with the flow. Well, then the flow that we're going with is the flow of the world. Enjoy the ride. What we want to do is go with the flow of the divine, but we have to be clear about the divine. Clarity begins for us, those who study the science of mind, the clarity begins with knowing truth and separating truth from facts. Dr. Grayson says, let's see. Our purpose in his book, right, is to understand that we have a creative mind, that we can use it, and we can change our consciousness, our thinking, ourselves. And we have a talent, a spiritual talent, an ability to reflect and express all that God or the universal presence is. This talent is to see clearly, and in seeing clearly, to discriminate between facts and truths. We define facts as things that are true in a temporary way in the conditioned world, our material world of experience. Facts change as the world changes, but truth is eternal, changeless. As our practitioner intern Gary welcomed us, and he talked about using our mind, and we can create something new, but we obey these divine laws. And yet anything is possible that we can conceive of if we obey the divine laws. Not necessarily human-made laws. Human-made laws are what human beings make up as law. So I had an experience this week. Boy, I didn't think this was coming into the topic, into the talk, but during this period of isolated reflection that I've had for the past year, I have used my beautiful dining room table as a place to put together jigsaw puzzles. And a number of years ago, when my beloved mother made her transition, I inherited all her jigsaw puzzles, and I meant to put them together and then give them away. Well, at least 10 years has passed and nothing happened, but I used this past year as a time to put them together. And it was a nice activity to do at home alone, listening to music or the whatever was going on, and be with my thoughts and just put together this little jigsaw puzzle, or big jigsaw puzzle. Anyway, so I had one on my dining room table this past week that I finished, and 2 pieces were missing. Now that's very unusual with my mother's jigsaw puzzles, because after she finished it, she would put all the pieces in a plastic bag, Ziploc it, and put it inside the box. And if there was a piece missing, she would put a little Post-it note on the outside, piece missing, with a description of what it would contain in case you should ever come across it again, I guess. So she didn't say that with this particular jigsaw puzzle. And so I was putting it away, putting all the pieces into the plastic bag, and thinking, okay, I'm going to have to make a little Post-it note that these 2 little pieces are missing. I can't give it away because 2 pieces are missing. So I need to, put this on the holding tank until these 2 pieces of the jigsaw puzzle materialize. Thank God. Ignorance, right? Ignorance. Because as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? Who made this rule up? Why am I putting these jigsaw puzzle pieces in a plastic bag so that you don't lose any? And then I'm going to store it again for these 2 pieces that obviously got lost in my mother's home or someone else's home, but I'm thinking somehow they're going to show up in my home at some point. And when will that happen? And when will, and that little Post-it note, what? And I had to, several times, this was a defining moment in my little world. What am I doing? Who made this rule up? And then I had to think with clarity, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Sound like a good idea, but let me think about it. I thought about it. It's a stupid idea. What the heck? And I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, so this is what you're going to do, right? You're going to put it here. And how long, Karen? Oh, how long is this jigsaw puzzle, which really wasn't that much fun anyway. It was a pretty ugly picture that I put together. Nobody wants it. It was ugly. It was an ugly scene. It was so old that back, jigsaw puzzles got put, made out of any site because, apparently they didn't understand how to take pictures in the world. Robert Hummel, I hope you're listening. So the thing is that, so what am I doing? It was stupid, and I was ignorant of the stupid activity I was doing. And this little rule, well, it was organized. I was putting things in order. It was stupid. For what end? For what end? And so I realized, okay, now what is the right thing to do with this thing? Throw it out, right? You're not going to give it to the Vietnam vets with a little post-it note for someone who might buy it. By the way, there's 2 pieces missing. Who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy a jigsaw puzzle with 2 pieces missing? And if they would, please, they're in ignorance too, right? Okay. So the thing is, because there's more than enough jigsaw puzzles coming out of this house. So I thought, all right, so if they don't need to be in the plastic bag because you're going to recycle it. It's all cardboard. That's recyclable material. I like to recycle. So don't put them in a plastic bag. So I took everything out of the plastic bag and I put it into the cardboard box and I, put that all together into my recycling bin and I'm free of perpetuating something that my ancestors had done. But upon reflection with who I am and what I choose for my life, it just doesn't fit. And so our question for today is, and Dr. Grayson has it, is, what are you doing? What are you doing? We have this God-given gift of infinite mind to use, and it requires us to use it. And how do we use this mind? Clarity. Being clear about ourselves, about what we want, about what we're doing. And so over the past year, I have exercised tremendous clarity. As soon as this whole big world situation happened, I'm like, well, I can't go out and minister with all this craziness. I'm a teacher of the science of mind. I'm a excellent practitioner for all who come to me. I know the truth. So let's get clear about the truth about this world condition. And so I was able to get really clear about what's going on in the world and what its mental cause is and what I choose for myself. I got crystal clear. If you want to hear those talks, go back. It's all still posted on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube. Those early talks, I talked about it because I needed to get clear. I chose to be clear. I thought about it. I read about it. I meditated on it. I did spiritual mind treatment on it. I'm clear. I need touch-up clarity as I move around in the world. I'm clear. And I also got clear. I had a very old friend who we were no longer friends with. She came into my world and wanted things from me. And I got very, very confused. And I went to one of our practitioner interns and had a session. And I got crystal clarity about that. And I knew exactly what to do. And I did it. The situation is out of my life. Clarity in our situations solves them for us. That thinking of the infinite mind sets us free. In some situations, we need the clarity of the absolute truth. What is the cause and the creator of my health? God and God alone. Okay, that's what I needed to know for one situation. The other situation, what the heck? Psychological understanding, and then the spiritual truth. What is my responsibility? I felt responsible for an old friend's quality of life. And I'm not responsible. I'm still working on the clarity of that truth, but I knew enough in that situation to know what is best for me and which is thereby best for my friend and act upon it. And then yesterday I spent, I think another 4 or 5 hours in an automotive store. A few weeks ago, I spent 5 hours in a different automotive store. And I remember back in December, I spent, I think about 3 or 4 hours in an automotive store. And when I think about what's going on there, I don't have clarity. I don't have clarity, and I don't feel like doing the work that I need to do to get clear. I'm being honest. I'm paying the price. I've paid the price. How much more the price do I want to pay? I know in every atom of my consciousness, I'm believing and I'm feeling, it's too much. I don't have the energy. Oh my God, the spiritual work I would have to do to get clear about this. Let me just go along. the easiest route possible. And so that's fine. That's good. And the consequences are I spend, I finished my book. That was important. And I almost got done with the socks that I've been knitting for over a year. So that was nice. There's the plus side of it, right? And it was nice. It was, even though their air conditioning wasn't working, and I happened to wear jeans and a long sleeves top, it wasn't completely unbearable. And yeah, they fixed the car and I can drive around with it some more. It doesn't feel any different, but car's working. That's fine. I can get by with it. It's not horrible enough yet. It's not scary enough yet. It's not all the things that apparently it needs to be for me to decide to get clear. I'm sharing this with you because perhaps you might have some areas in your life where you feel unempowered and you feel like it's just too much. And yeah, all that really may be the facts of you at the moment, but it's not the spiritual truth of you, and we don't have to stay there. And so I know that if I do my spiritual work, first of all, according to Dr. Stuart Grayson, the spiritual practice of forming. If I do forming, what do I really believe about cars? So his forming method is a method of clarity. It's a method of listening to all the stupid thinking going on in you about a situation, to get it all out in front of you. And maybe in forming, as you do it, some spiritual truth also gets revealed if you're there. But sometimes an awful lot of the gunk has to come out, like the underpinnings of my car. There was a lot of gunk underneath it that needed to, come out. And so that forming is that technique where you write down what your question is, that question that you want to get more clarity about, right? So you write it down on top of a piece of paper. And then you contemplate the good, the all good for 10 minutes. Set a timer. Microwave oven timer works fine. And then so you don't think about your problem in those 10 minutes. You just think about truth, or you just imagine yourself relaxing all parts of your body. Whatever your method of thinking about the highest idea works for you. That's what you do, right? And when the alarm goes off, you then take your piece of paper and you begin to write. Everything that's coming out, even if it seems irrelevant, in a sense, you are transcribing the dictation of your unconscious mind. It's telling you, and it might begin saying, this is stupid, this is dumb, I just like to run and run. That's got nothing to do with it. But if you keep writing, without judgment, without editing, just let it all flow out of you, your deep subjective mind will get, they're listening. And now the stuff comes out. And sometimes when I've done forming, the stuff that's come out has made me cry. And you keep writing. Teardrops all over the page. You just keep writing, scribbling down every word as fast as you can, blah, 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 blah. And you write and you write and you write until you're done. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 pages for me, maybe a couple of paragraphs, till your hand gets tired, till the thoughts stop, till you have a healing, to whatever it is for you. And then you don't look at it. You don't look at it until the next day. And then you look at it and read it. And with a highlighter, you highlight every false belief that you need to do spiritual work on. And then you do a spiritual mind treatment on it. You get someone else to do spiritual mind treatment for you. And you go for another few days, see how it goes. And maybe you've got to do another forming session to get more out and more out and more out, to get clear, to get all the gunk out, so that which is the truth and is present in you can be seen. It's not like you're trying to find the truth or get some truth into you, it's there at the very pit of your being, and you're just cleaning the windows. Clarity is about cleaning the windows of your mind. And so every single decision that we make about life is based upon a clarity of understanding that we have achieved. And when we're not clear, you know what, which, you know, happens to me, like I'm working at being clear and I'm working at being clear. And then, I reach a point where I'm like, oh, okay, that one, I mean, I give up, but that's okay. It's okay. I got something based upon the level of clarity I have, but there's more clarity to know. Life is infinite. The infinite possibilities yet to be require a decision for, out of the infinite possibilities that could be, something is. And we have the gift to decide out of the infinite possibilities yet to be, what do I want for me? Not for other people, for ourselves. And Mary's wonderful little story there, I'm like, whoa, that's my whole talk, right? We spilled the beans out of our bag, right, of infinite stuff that's in our unconscious mind. Man, I had one big black, ugly looking acorn. I'm like, I don't know what that represents, but threw that out. And so the thing is we have to choose. And as that one person said, I have to do it myself. Each one of us has to choose for ourselves the infinite possibilities yet to be for us. We must choose. We must choose. We have to. And wherever we're clear, boom, decision follows. And we have Raymond Charles Barker, who taught my teacher, Dr. Stuart Grayson, who wrote the book, The Power of Decision. It is another version of saying the power of clarity. I don't know, even when I was an atheist, I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I made a decision about my life with crystal clarity. It was a mega moment for me. I was on the ocean shoreline in the winter, and I got clear and I made a decision. And as soon as I made a decision, bam, it demonstrated in my world. Immediately, I was like, whoa, because I didn't know this teaching yet. And I was an atheist. I didn't know, whoa, what's that? But yes, you've all experienced where you decided something and then you didn't undecide or you didn't get confused. I remember one time I read a review of a new opera that the Metropolitan Opera House was doing. And I, as I read it, I thought with all my heart, oh, wow, I would really like to see that. And then I got distracted by work. So I didn't think my usual thought, oh, but I'll never figure out how to do it. It's a lot of money and I'm not the kind of person who makes plans like that. I mean, that's my usual kind of thinking back then. I just forgot about it. Months later, 6 months later, I was in our Science of Mind Center with Dr. Stuart Grayson afterwards. I was a volunteer there. And after it was all over, we're putting things away, his assistant came up to me and said, Karen, one of our donors have given us a ticket to the opera this afternoon. Would you like to go? And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, I would like to go. I went, and it was that opera. The power of decision is the power of clarity. Wherever you are clear, the universe obeys. It's got to create something. Without our instructions, it creates the world. It's got to fill in your world with something. It's creating everything around me right now. I'm grateful that it's creating my laptop right now and the Facebook page right now and the transmission. And it's creating this book right now and the chairs everybody are sitting on. I don't have to consciously choose all that. That's good. Fill in the details, life. That's working for me. But in these areas of my life, I choose clarity. I choose to be crystal clear. And if I don't have enough conviction in my clarity on my own psychological consciousness level, then I need more clarity of spiritual truth. And that's what Science of Mind teaches. That's what practitioners are trained to do. To know the truth, to be crystal clear about truth. And in knowing truth, everything follows and flows from it. And so we're specific about this truth. Oh, yes, I know the truth in the absolute that God is omnipresent. The omnipresence of an infinite mind means the infinite intelligence is everywhere present, and it is present in each and every one of us right now. That is our steps 1 and 2 of spiritual mind treatment. But what we do is a step 3, which is where we are specific. Step 3, therefore, this infinite intelligence is now expressing in my being consciously aware right now where my keys are. That's specific. The keys could be anywhere, right? But when we get clear that the truth, which is everywhere, is true right where I am and right here, because we want our keys right here. That is the practice of the Science of Mind teaching via Dr. Raymond Charles Barker and Dr. Stuart Grayson and Dr. Karen Kushner and our particular practitioners here. We're that clear. We're not like, yes, there's infinite truth and I am that truth. And so something like that kind of shows up in the world. You know, I don't have to be clear. I don't have to be clear. I don't have to be specific. We don't do that. I am specific. We are specific. Why? Because it's recognizing the omnipresence all the way through into the very of creation. That takes some thinking. That takes some clarity. That takes some doing. But in knowing this, results in our world manifest. I know where I've done my spiritual work. Yes, I'm clear about what the world's doing about this. I'm clear about my relationship with someone. I'm clearer now about what to do with these jigsaw puzzles. I'm not so clear about my car. I got to work on that. When will I work on it? I'll let you know when I do. And you'll all rejoice. Oh, she finally got clear about that. I'm so tired of listening about her in the car. Okay, so clarity, it's our gold, because without clarity, we are the victim of the world's opinions and beliefs. When we don't have clarity, right, we get confused easily. We are filled with doubts. We're not sure. We have to recheck things. When we are clear about truth. When we are clear about truth, we don't have to go over things again. I'm clear. When we're done about something, I'm done. When I'm healed about something, I'm healed forever. I know this. And those miraculous, full healings that we want demand that kind of clarity. Demand it. And so that's what we work on. And thank goodness, we only have to work with the infinite mind we are always working with. And we have to ask ourselves, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I doing? Like my jigsaw puzzle thing. What am I doing? And that isn't a valuable question to ask. What am I doing? Stop. What am I doing? I haven't done that yet with my car. Stop. What are you doing? All right, maybe I will this week. We'll see. Is there any clarity in that statement? No. Okay, so hopefully I've given you the best of clarity and the worst. And all things in between. And then you choose the level of clarity you want in your life, because life is going to create our worlds with all the trimmings based upon the information, the direction we give it. And if we go, well, whatever, it goes, okay, whatever. But wherever we're crystal clear, woo, everything in the universe will, it's like, it's instantaneous to have such clarity that the form, the fact materializes instantaneously. That's what's possible for us. And I've gotten that clear about something, a new job, and my phone has rung. That's the kind of clarity that is possible for us. That is what light is about. The infinite possibilities yet to see, and I have the light to see and choose, right? Life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, harmony, joy. See, where's choice in all that? It's in light. I have the light to see and I choose. Therefore, I have the power. Light to see and the power to create. That's its order. Light and then power and then peace and then harmony. There it is. Okay. So hopefully, I know that each and every one of you got some clarity out of all this that you can use however you choose to use it. Right. And if you are like not wanting to deal with something yet, that's okay. You know, you can be like me, pay another $1,000 for your car repair, right? And or we have all these great practitioners. You can make a practitioner treatment request. Go to our website. It says prayer request there. Fill it out. It gets sent immediately to one of our practitioners who know the truth for you for the entire week, and boom, you will demonstrate. Yes, let's do that. Okay. Having said all that, let's take a moment to relax. And Reverend Rich, let's sing us a nice song. Got one to follow that?
This one just showed up, so here it is.
Okay.
So I had a treatment fix my brakes one time. Swear to God. Brakes went down, went bad. Janice did a treatment. They lasted another 6 months. I don't know
Yes. There we go.
I want to hear some voices because I am having a little issue today. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. The big we are. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright.
Yeah, so lots to think about when we sang that song, right? What do I mean when I'm saying I am the light? Yeah, what do I mean? Oh, all right. Okay, so let me give a spiritual mind treatment for each one of us. This word is spoken for each one. Infinite mind knows all. And it knows what it knows with crystal clarity. And this is the mind that each one is using. So crystal clarity and the ability to choose is a God-given quality to each one. Each one has this. It is a natural, normal ability. Each one has this gift and is now aware of it in a greater way and is therefore using this gift of discrimination, spiritual discernment, crystal clarity, knowing the truth, and choosing and deciding that which shall be out of the infinite possibilities. Each one is exercising this mental muscle in a greater, more powerful, and empowering way than ever before. And as a result, each one is more free and is living that life that he or she loves completely. This is a built-in ability. Each one has it, knows it, uses it, and is enjoying the benefits of it. I'm so grateful. This is the truth. I release this word to the law. It is done. And so it is. Okay, that's the way it is. Take us away.
Got my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. I said, guide my feet while I run this race. 'Cause I don't want to run this race in vain. I'm a child while I run this race. I'm a child while I run this race. I said I'm a child while I run this race. 'Cause I don't want to run this race in vain. 'Cause I don't want to run this race in vain. 'Cause I don't want